The last time when we paid a visit to Desktop Pilot, we took a look at the version 2 throttle as well as the trim wheel that were exciting instruments. Today, it's going to be something more exciting. We're continuing a Desktop Pilot gear series, and I've got something that might seem small on the surface, but it really adds that extra layer of realism for GA pilots. It's the Fuel Tank Selector, a hardware switch designed to replicate real fuel selector you would find in an aircraft like the Cessna 172. If you're the kind of simmer who sticks to checklists, flies long cross-country routes, or just wants to avoid clicking around the cockpit with the mouse, this adds a nice little touch. So let's dive into how it works, how it feels, and where it fits into your sim setup. Before anything, welcome back to the channel, and I'm Chick Bungalow. We bring you this every week, upping your experience at Microsoft Flight Simulator. So please consider subscribing, as this can greatly support my channel. Let's talk about the build and layout, and by the way, shipping was fast, nicely and safely packed. So first off, this thing is as about straightforward as it gets. It's done well. You've got a 3-position rotary switch labeled left, right and both, just like in a real Cessna. The Selector itself has a nice clicky feel as it moves between positions. It's not loose or mushy, that's what I like, which I was happy to see. Now the housing is plastic. It's cleanly finished and compact enough to fit comfortably on any desk or a cockpit frame. The back has a rubber grip for grip. You have the option to mount it directly to your sim setup or pedestal structure with a given Velcro. There's nothing flashy about it, but honestly that's what makes it work. It feels like a real piece of cockpit hardware and not just another sim toy. Now setting this up was like any other Desktop Pilot gear I've used. Plug in the USB-C, open up the Desktop Pilot config tool, and it shows up right away. You can assign each position to your fuel selector control in Microsoft Flight Simulator, Explain, or Prepare 3D. I tested this out mostly on the Cessna 172 on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it was recognized without a hitch. There's also some flexibility in how you assign the switches. If you're flying a twin or something that doesn't use the left, right, both logic, you can still remap each T10 to something that makes sense for your workflow. But out of the box, it's clearly optimized for a single engine GA aircraft, so something to note. Now on the sim experience, this is where it shines more than you might expect actually. Having this little knob within reach means you can go through your fuel balancing without breaking immersion. Instead of moving your mouse or searching for a switch view, you can reach out and flip the selector like you would in a real life. It's a given that it's easy in today's life when you can use a Tobii tracker, but still, you're using a mouse. So there's a difference here. Flying longer geo routes? Set a timer and switch tanks every 30 minutes. Need to simulate fuel starvation on one side during a training scenario? Done. It's a small interaction, but it goes a long way in grounding you in the sim, especially when paired with other physical controls. Now these are very important things if you want to feel like you're flying in real life. real-world use, and audience fit. Now this is definitely geared towards GA aviation pilots, including myself, especially those flying Cessnas, Diamonds, or other light singles. If you're the type to follow real setup flows, fuel management, emergency procedures, this fits right in. It's not going to appeal to everyone, to be honest, but if you fly mostly airliners, use VR, or rely on automation, you won't get much out of this. But for student pilots, checklist lovers, GA pilots, and anyone building a realistic cockpit, it's a very specific but a useful tool. It's a small but a functional tool that has many features. From a realistic 3-way rotary switch with firm detents from left, right, both, a plug-and-play functionality with USB-C, works on major sims like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, 2024, X-Plane, Prepare 3D. It works with single-engine GA aircraft or can be customized for other uses. It's compact and mountable, and sometimes it's the simple things that make your sim experience more engaging. This fuel tank selector doesn't do 100 things. It does one thing very well. The feel of the switch is solid. The configuration is easy, and in practice, it can make a difference. It's one less thing to click around with your mouse, and one reason to stay focused on the actual flying. Would I call this essential? Maybe not. But if you're building a proper GA setup and already using desktop pilot gear, this is a clean, realistic addition that rounds things out nicely. So if you're someone who flies GA regularly and want to add a bit more realism to your flow, I would say this fuel tank selector is worth a look. By the way, I've covered plenty of other beautiful instruments from Desktop Pilot. Do take a look. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if this is the kind of add-on you would use, or is this too specific. I've got many more desktop products for review. Do stay tuned for future releases by subscribing. And until next time, bye bye for now.